welcome to my new 9 to 5. Maybe even go overtime. Employee of the month. She's the problem. So I found out who the killer is. I am starting to not enjoy this. Hello and welcome back to Alexandria Loves Books. Ba-da-bow. Thanks for joining me today. So a fun fact about me right now is that I am unemployed. I am on the treacherous job hunt as we speak. And as I'm, trying to find a job, multiple jobs, any way that I can get money in a moral, ethical, safe way, I was thinking, the best job would be reading. Like, what if I got paid to read? How nice would that be? And I mean, that's kind of, if BookTube ever takes off, maybe that dream can become a reality. So, subscribe. I know a lot of you watching are not subscribed. I see the data, the analytics. But so then I was like, whoa, what would life be like if, aside from BookTube, if just reading was my full-time job? So this week we are going to see how many books can I read if reading is my full-time job. And what better week to do it when I'm on a job hunt and unemployed? I think what counts as full-time is 35 to 40 hours a week, I think. So today is Sunday, so we're gonna start tomorrow, Monday, first day of the work week, and I'm gonna clock in and clock out, log my hours of reading, and read for 8 hours. Today's Monday. It's the first day on the new job. Here's what the books I'm currently reading. I'm listening to the audiobook of Uninvited by Lisa Turkhurst. This is a Christian nonfiction book, kind of about rejection, when you feel left out, when you feel lonely, when you feel less than. When you feel uninvited. A few days ago when I was on the plane back to LA, I started a novel love story. I only got 8 pages in because I was sleeping most of the flight, listening to a podcast, and then I was like, let me read. And then 10 minutes later, they were like, hey, we're about to land, so let's get all of our things together and put it under the seat in front of you. So I literally am only 8 pages in. Yeah. I'm not fully in the mood for this right now. I want to give this the best shot. I want to read it when I'm in the mood for it. So I'm not going to start with this. Instead, I'm going to start with The Au Pair Affair by Tessa Bailey. Tessa Bailey, I eat up her words. I eat up her love stories. They are so good and fun and not too serious. They're man obsessed, pretty much always, and I eat that up. So this one is a nanny hockey romance. This is the sequel or standalone sequel to Fangirl Down. So this is Tallulah, Josephine's best friend. And then what is the guy's name? Burgess. So in this one she becomes the live-in nanny for his child. He's a single dad, a hockey player. It is 9:18 a.m. and I am clocking in for the day. I've been reading for about an hour and a half. I'm 60 pages in and my reading pace is slightly slower, but I'm loving it. When I love a book, I either speed through it or I'm kind of slow because I'm taking in everything and I'm acting things out. I was laying in bed and I was reading, and I was reading the things Tallulah was saying, and then I was acting them out. I'm literally saying them out loud and acting. So that makes it take longer. But I'm already highlighting things, guys, or underlining. Let me share with you things I've already highlighted. Had Tallulah had a bad experience with a man? It seems so. And right then and there, looking into her honest eyes, Burgess knew. Burgess? Burgess. Is it Burgess or Burgess? I have to look that up now. Knew if he ever found out who it was, a broken nose would be a pleasure compared to what he'd do to them. Yes! It's protective. It's, who hurt you? This is from his internal thoughts. Imagine this beautiful woman asking you to be her protector. I like knowing what you like. How precious. I always forget that she writes in third person. She's the only author who's allowed to write in third person, in my opinion. I don't even notice it. We are 5 hours in to our shift. I did stop the timer. I'm using a stopwatch to track it. We have 3 more hours to go today. I'm on page 204, chapter 18. So far, I love Burgess. He knows what he wants, and I love that in a book boyfriend. And I'm really looking forward to when he gets what he wants. And I don't mean that in a spice. Just to clarify. I love that he knows what he wants. And I love how he is with her. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break to work out and get my body moving because I've just been sitting and laying down all day, and I feel the negative effects of it right now. But I am going on 7 hours of reading, so our shift is almost done. I have under 100 pages. I have about 97 pages. I don't know if I did that math correctly, but I have around 90-ish pages left. I do not like the kid in this book. I enjoy the kids written in single dad romances or single parent romances, but this one, Lissa, is that her name? Yeah, she's kind of bugging me. She's the problem. She is the problem in the plot. So she really wants her parents to get back together. Don't know if I mentioned that. And so she's still believing it, even though her parents are divorced and her mom is engaged to someone else. She's really rooting for it, and I get it. She's a 12-year-old kid. I understand. But she's the problem, and she's the conflict in this book. One thing I'm a little confused about, on the back of the book, it says something that hasn't even happened yet, and I think it's like a third act breakup. And I'm already like emotionally anticipating it. I'm like, oh my gosh, but they need to be together and they're happy, but she wants them to be happy, and ugh. Lissa, get your act together. Morning, welcome to day 2 on the job. I just finished The Au Pair Affair by Tessa Bailey. I read this for like an hour and a half this morning. I also listened to a little bit of the audiobook of Uninvited while I had breakfast. I think I'm gonna rate this one 4 stars. I really loved it, I really enjoyed it, but I definitely liked Fangirl Down better than this one. I didn't love the resolution. The reconciliation, kind of how it played out, was just very messy. I know Tessa Bailey writes very spicy books. Like, I know what I'm getting myself into, but I felt like the resolution was too spicy for me to like the emotional aspect of it, if that makes sense. As you can see, I loved it. I was underlining so many things. I really enjoyed Burgess, and like, Tallulah was endgame. He needed her to get that. Yes. Okay, so now what's left on the August TBR, we have these 2 books, and then this is not on my TBR, but I just have listening to the audiobook, so I also have this. I definitely need to do some unpacking because I still haven't unpacked from days ago, so I might listen to this while I do that. But for my physical book, it is kind of like a dark, gloomy day, but not really. My apartment complex, they emailed us saying that they're gonna have a drone flying by to take photos and videos, I guess, for like their website and stuff. So I need to keep my blinds closed for privacy. So it's kind of a little dim, and I actually have a lamp on even though it's like 9 or 10 a.m. But so it's giving me the vibes less of like a romance and more like fantasy. So I think I'm gonna read Kingdom of the Wicked. It is 5:30 and we have completed our day 2 shift of 8 hours. So today I read like about 40 to 50 pages of The Au Pair Affair, and I finished this book while I like had breakfast and lunch and did some organizing around the apartment. I listened to the audiobook of Uninvited, and I got to chapter 10, page 117. And then I got up to chapter 29, page 226 of Kingdom of the Wicked. I read a lot today, and I think I would like to read more Kingdom of the Wicked later tonight. I have a few things I need to do. I need to actually apply for more jobs, find more jobs to apply to, because I need an actual job that pays me real money. And I want to work out because it just helps clear my brain after reading for so long. So far, I'm enjoying this book more than I thought I would. It's about Amelia and this world that she lives in, which is in Italy, fun, or Sicily. She comes from a family of witches, and there's a bunch of other witches also in this world. Growing up, she's heard from her Nona these stories that she thought were just, you know, stories about like the wicked, these princes of hell. She thought they were just fake, but her sister ends up being murdered. With that, she decides that she is going to solve the murder. And then all of a sudden she realized these stories, they're not fake. And so she meets Wrath, who is one of the princes of hell. It seems like he's kind of on her side and they kind of end up working together to solve this murder. But like, we still don't understand, like, at least I don't understand like why he's on her side, because it seems like everyone else in his side of the world is against her. There's a romance subplot in this. I haven't gotten that yet, but their banter is so good. Like, you can tell there's something between them. There's something that's gonna happen. So, and like, there's been a little bit of something, but not much. Yeah, it's not like, there hasn't been like romance yet. So I found out who the killer is. Ooh. Mercy? You're asking for mercy. I did not see this turn of events. Get over yourself. My brain isn't comprehending everything about this world. No, you're not doing that. Come on. So stupid. Why are there houses like in Harry Potter? You know, like, that's just a little weird to me. I don't know. I don't like this. And that's how it ends? I need to rewatch Heartstopper. I miss them so much. Okay, I have a lot of updates for you. First of all, I finished Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. I think I'm gonna give it a 4-star. My final thoughts, or at least what I'm thinking right now, is I'm a little confused and I don't fully get it. It's very confusing. There's a lot to what's going on in the story, and I can't really say exactly what it is because that'll spoil it, but let's just say there's a curse that's involved in this story. I don't fully comprehend or get what's happening with it. And like, it kind of ends on a cliffhanger a little bit, but especially because I didn't understand why Amelia was doing what she was doing at the end, and why Wrath was doing what he was doing, and why the other princes were doing what they, I just don't know what's happening. But I was really entertained, and for the most part I understood. I followed along the best I could. And then I kind of wanted a little bit of a break of like reading like a normal book, so I did pick up a graphic novel. This is the volume 2 of Heartstopper. I love Nick and Charlie so much. Like, the amount of serotonin you get when you read these books and watch the show. I truly, like, I think tonight, as I'm like winding down for the night before going to bed, I think I'm gonna watch Heartstopper because I miss them so much. I want to see them. Read Heartstopper, please. It's so cute and funny, but it's still deep and it's still emotional, but it's still fun and beautiful. And then I think I only have under 2 hours left of the audiobook for Uninvited, which I need to clean my apartment for my guest tomorrow. So I think I'll listen to that as I clean. We're 7 hours into our Wednesday shift. I did take a little bit of a break earlier because I am starting to not enjoy this. I was kind of entering a little bit of a reading slump where I was just tired of reading, but I think I'm out of it, or I'm not as deep. Finished Uninvited by Lisa Turkhurst. I did not like this book. I gave it 2 stars. This book really annoyed me. And I listened to the audiobook and the narrator annoyed me. I don't want to say anything bad about people, but it just, her inflection, it was like she was trying to be quirky, but I also think that was the writing, because it felt like the writing was trying to be quirky and it really just did not. It was so annoying to me, and I wasn't actually paying attention to like the message of it because I was just trying to get through it because it was annoying me. It's supposed to be about how, you know, our identity in God and like why/how we shouldn't be putting all of our, I don't know, hope/ purpose identity into other people's feelings of us, and when we're rejected or when things don't work out how we want, or comparison, all these things. And I love that message. I think it's so important. This book just had so many like personal anecdotes, which she even says in the book that she's like, this is the way to connect with people, to like show them that you relate. And I agree with that, but it almost felt like I was reading her memoir more than a book about living loved. And honestly, a lot of the stories just annoyed me because it was like trying to be quirky and funny, and like, ooh, like, I don't know if it's also a generational thing. But, you know, she's still like making comments about like cellulite and the, oh, this person has a thigh gap and that, and I get it. But I was like, it just feels like you're reinforcing it, like that mindset of like body image, unrealistic standards and things. I'm not even gonna put my book stamp on it because I can see myself unhauling this. And I never unhaul books, even books I hate. I have a book that I rated 1 star. I still have it on my bookshelf. I stamped it. It's part of my library. I don't recommend this book. And then I was like, okay, the last book on my August TBR is a novel love story. I was already 8 pages into it. I am now 110 pages into it. So if you do not know, a novel love story, this is Ashley Poston, I don't know how to say her name, her newest release, and all of her books, or most of them, if not all, have magical realism, which is really fun. So for this one, it follows Elsie, or Eileen, but her nickname's Elsie, and she loves romance books, as we all do, okay? And so she is going to this like cabin for the weekend to meet up with her book club where they like read these books together. But this year, none of them can make it. She's going on her own. And then her car breaks down during this like rainstorm. She almost hits a guy. She kind of has to stay in this town for a weekend to get her car fixed and everything. And she realizes this town is the fictional town of her favorite book series. Like a dream come true. Like this whole time, because she's like meeting these characters that she knows and loves from these books, but like they don't know that they're in a book. And I was just like, if this happened to me, like this, my equivalent would be if I ended up somehow in Chestnut Springs, and if I met like Summer and Red, and Willa and Cade, and Sloane and Jasper, and Theo and Winter, and Harvey, let's not forget about Harvey, but and Bo, and what's her name? I don't like that one as much, I forget her name, Bailey. But if I met those characters, I would freak out, and like I feel it with her. So I am loving this so far, and I'm assuming the love interest is the guy that she almost hit when she was driving in town. His name is Anderson. I should, without a doubt, finish my shift today. Maybe even go overtime. Employee of the month, employee of the month. At your service. Good morning, welcome to Thursday's shift. And the great thing about reading full time, being your own boss, having your own hours, is that you can wear whatever you want. I'm 312 pages into a novel love story, and I am absolutely loving it. I'm enjoying myself so much. It's so fun to read. I love reading things that have to do with books, and this is all about books. She's an English professor. She's in this world of her favorite books. There's books everywhere. The love interest owns a bookstore, and he likes reading. And it's just all things books and characters, and I love them, and it's so much fun. I will say I do like, I think, the 7 Year Slip and the Dead Romantics a little bit more, and like the romance, I think those relationships I like better than this one, but I still enjoy this one. I still really like it. I've only read for 2.5 hours so far this morning. I had to take a break to get the apartment ready for my friend to come over. So I have like an hour that I can read before they get here. And then we'll try to read tonight. I don't know if I'm gonna reach 8 hours today. I don't know. Okay, so it's been like 20 minutes. It has not been long since I last talked to you, but I just finished chapter 34 and I started crying. I feel so stupid. Like I'm getting so connected to the characters in the book that the main character in this book loves, because she's in that world and she loves these characters and she's surrounded by them and, you know, interacting with them, and these different things are going on, and she's talking about her, like Elsie is talking about her experiences with the author and her thoughts on the author, Rachel Flowers, and it's getting me so emotional and choked up because it's so bittersweet of like you love them so much, but like they're not real. And like at some point you have to like kind of let them go in a way because you have to live your own life. I'm gonna cry again. It just makes me so sad. There's so many books that I love, and of course, like I've mentioned, I'm really comparing her love for this book series to my love for the Chestnut Springs series because they're different, but they're similar series in a way. The small town and interconnected standalones, romance. I'm so connected to Elsie Silver's characters, and I like long to be friends with them and to be in their world, and I go to them for comfort, and I read those books. I reread them in times when I need that comfort, and I love them so much, and they make me laugh and they make me smile, but they also make me long and yearn because it's fake. It feels like Inception in a way, and I don't know how to fully explain that because I'm like, I'm reading this book about a character who reads this book series and is obsessed with it, and now I'm getting connected to these fake characters within this book of fake characters. Like, it's just very bittersweet because like, you love them so much, but like at the end of the day, they're not real. I'm gonna go finish this book. Oh my gosh, how did I not realize there's a character named Benji, and I didn't realize it until literally just now, like 20 pages away from the ending, that Benji, this character, is the Benji from the 10 Romantics. Oh my god, I missed it. I loved it. Oh my god. I'll run across cities and I'll show up with boom boxes outside your window, and I'll meet you at the tops of the buildings, and I'll kiss you in the rain just to remind you that you're worth every moment. Oh, my heart. I love that so much. 4.5 stars. Good morning. It is the last day on the job. I read for 7 hours yesterday. It was kind of very hard near the end. I was exhausted, but that means we're right on track because on Tuesday I did 9 hours, so that extra hour makes up for the hour I didn't do yesterday. So we're on track. I did pick up the Unhoneymooners yesterday, if you noticed. I thought this would be a great pick because I think this is like the last like summary book that's on my physical TBR, I think. It is August 30th. Tomorrow's the last day of August. So in my mind, even though I know it's not how the calendar is, but in my mind, September 1st, that's autumn 1st, okay? September is fall, period. So it was either read this now or have it just sitting on the TBR for another year. So this is by Christina and Lauren. This is like a nemesis, enemies to lovers situation following Olive and Ethan. They are at this wedding. Olive is the twin sister of the bride and Ethan is the older brother of the groom. They're both like maid of honor and best man. They do not get along. They haven't for years. They always butt heads and annoy each other and get in arguments and fight all the time. Well, it's the wedding, and Amy, the bride, she gets like everything for free. She's in all the sweepstakes and all the giveaways. She's, you know, working her way to make everything cheap and free. And so she has this, you know, free gifted buffet of seafood. There ends up being this like toxin in this fish. So everyone gets violently ill at the wedding. And the only two people that don't get sick are Olive because she's allergic to shellfish, and Ethan, who doesn't like buffets, so he ate a separate prepared meal that was not seafood. The honeymoon is non-refundable. Amy won it in a sweepstakes, so Ethan and Olive are offered to go on this honeymoon. So they go to Hawaii and have to fake being married and pretend that they are the bride and groom. I'm almost done with this book. I'm on page 309, chapter 16, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm not obsessed, I don't like love it, but it's really fun. The sarcastic comments are so funny. The banter is so good. Like, I am laughing almost like every scene in this book. It's so funny and so good. There's actually more plot going on past the honeymoon, which I'm really interested by. I am on page 72 of the club. It's kind of boring, but usually the first 100 pages of like any mystery thriller are kind of boring. I don't like the writing style. It's in third person, which I don't like, but I can deal with. The way it's written is very much telling and not showing. There's barely any dialogue. It would be so much more interesting to read if I was actually reading what was happening instead of being just told. I'm about like 110 pages into the book, and I was gonna take a break to go work out, and I realized I haven't told you what this book is about. There is this club, and it's only for celebrities, and not just like any celebrity. It has to be a celebrity of a lot of status, a lot of money, a lot of fame. Like, they have to be up there, you know, one of the bigger ones. This is very exclusive, very high-end, very sought after, and there's different locations at this club throughout the entire world. And this book takes place during the opening weekend of the Island Club, and this is an island in England. So we're following a handful of celebrities, and there's a ton of celebrities there at this opening thing, but we're following only a few, and along with the staff of this club and like the founders. Based off what I've read so far, that's pretty much all I can tell you. But from the back of the book, someone's dying. Every time someone's POV ends and before it switches to someone else's POV, the authors try to make it seem mysterious, but I'm just like, this doesn't sound interesting. It kind of is just very bland and basic of like, ooh, you know, they're gonna wish that they were invited, or they're about to find out, or this is something they'll never forget, and then it switches to someone else's POV. And so I don't really know what's going on. Hello. I did it. I completed the challenge. I read as if it was my full-time job, and I read for 40 hours and 2 minutes this week. So I'll put my shifts for each day out right here so you can see. But in that time, I read about 6.5 books in 1 week. That's wild. Usually in a week, I read like 1 book to 3 books max. So this is kind of insane. I started off with The Au Pair Affair by Tessa Bailey. I loved it. I think I rated it 4 stars. Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. I had originally rated this 4 stars, but I'm thinking it's a little bit more like a 3.75, which I know is like not that much of a difference, but I do think it's a little less. It's not a 4 star. Heartstopper Volume 2, graphic novel. I think I just rated this 5 stars because I just don't know how to rate graphic novels yet, and I love Nick and Charlie. I had started Uninvited prior to this week. I don't remember how far in I was though, but I finished listening to the audiobook of Uninvited, hated it, rated it 2 stars. I read a novel, Love Story by Ashley Poston, and I adore this book so much. This is a 4.5 star. Read the Unhoneymooners. Yeah, you have something to say, AC? Calm down, not your time to talk. I read the Unhoneymooners, which was so much fun. What did I rate this? I think 3.5 or 3.75. And then I started the club. Did not finish it. I think I ended last night around page 165 or so, but I don't like this, and right now it's like a 2 star. So we did it. This is how many books I would read if reading was my 9 to 5, my full-time job. Now everyone please send prayers, good vibes, positive energy, whatever you do, that I can get a real job that pays money. Or get all your friends to subscribe and watch my videos so I can get paid doing this. And then reading can be my full-time job. Thanks. Thanks guys. I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.